All right, I feel like I need to address this, but there's a lot of idiots out there. So there's this deleted scene that you can just search up Harley Quinn deleted scene from the Suicide Squad, and you find this scene. Now, ever since James Gunn got into position, there's been a lot of weirdos out there making bold accusations. It's like, I get if you don't like James Gunn's style, even if you don't like his personality, that's cool. At the end of the day, it's all subjective, film's subjective. And that's the beautiful thing about film fandom, that we have our different experiences and different perspectives based on our lives, and that translates when we watch a movie. Some people like comedies, some people like horrors. But what I'm seeing with James Gunn is a lot of people don't like James Gunn's movies because it is the opposite of Zach's, at least style wise. Zach is a little more darker toned, a little more serious. Well, James Gunn, while he does go dark, he does it more in a lighter, more comedic tone. And you can see that in the Guardians movies and the Suicide Squad movies. Now, I personally love the Suicide Squad. I thought the Suicide Squad was a masterpiece, but I'll still say this and I'll stand by it. I think to me, it is nowhere near the level of Zach's DC EU films. I don't think it's anywhere as good as Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, but that's my personal opinion. I love Zack's films. I'm pro restore the Snyderverse. I want the Snyderverse restored. Zack Snyder's Justice League is my favorite movie of all time. But with that being said, I love the Suicide Squad. But a lot of people who don't like it are now frustrated because now James Gunn's the leader. And look, it's cool. If you disagree with me on the decision, that's completely cool. At the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see and find out what goes on. Maybe in 5 years, I'll be proven wrong because I'm optimistic for James Gunn. I think he's a great creative, and I think this gives more power to directors because I believe in Hollywood, we need to start letting directors show us their vision. And I feel like you don't see that anymore, especially in the big blockbuster. So to me, it's a good thing that James Gunn's taking in charge because as a filmmaker, he'll know what it means to give creativity to the directors. And this includes Zach, because if James Gunn brings back Zach, he's going to allow Zach to do whatever he wants. Now, I still think there'll be a constructed universe, but I think based on individual films, I think James will allow him to have power. But a lot of people are frustrated with James Gunn. But there's a lot of allegations that people are making up out of their ass. I'm not going to talk about that now. Maybe that's for another video. But one allegation is that James Gunn is racist. Now, in this scene, and I probably shouldn't afford it because my internet's not good right now. In this scene, Harley, now this is a deleted scene. Harley is like walking up, and you guys remember in the movie, she starts dating the president of Corto Maltese. And in the movie, of course, they're in Guatemala, which is a fictional country. Now, it's obviously in South America. Like as a Hispanic, I can tell the differences. This kind of feels like it's supposed to be like Colombia or Ecuador or one of those countries. That's what I toned it to. And the movie even has a lot of stereotypes, like on how Latin Americans sound, how they act. There's some that sound very stereotypical to the point where I'm like, bro, they don't even feel like they're from the same country. But I still love it because I don't care. Look, Hispanics are like the least sensitive people out there when it comes to joking about Hispanic stuff. Who cares? Like, who cares? A lot of Americans don't know how Latin American countries are, so regardless, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like how people just think third world countries are just poor people and who just crap on the floor, and then that's it. You know, Americans rarely ever know. I think this even includes Zack Snyder. I think a lot of Americans just don't know how Latin American countries are. But in this scene, she's like running up, and this girl right here, she's kind of like mocking her accent, kind of making it a joke that Spanish people just sound funny. And so she's making a bunch of silly noises. Now, I see a lot of people on Twitter using this scene saying, James Gunn's racist, James Gunn. And look, I'll say this right now. This is not a good scene. Not based on race or anything. I just think objectively, the scene itself was just unnecessary because it was just her. It felt like it went on too long. Then joke and all that. But I still like the scene, even though I just think it's a good thing it was deleted because this scene would not fit with the film. There was no point in having it. It's a useless scene, just like most of Harley's scenes were. Let's not deny. Even though I love the Suicide Squad, Harley's story was the weakest part of that film. But the scene she's mocking, she's making silly noises. Now, a lot of people use this as racist. This is racist. Oh no, this is racist. Okay, I'll say this right now. She is a literal psychotic murderer who has killed hundreds of people, not just in the comics, not just in the Batman animated series, But even in live action, how many times does she kill in Suicide Squad 2016, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad? She's a psychotic murderer who's very narcissistic and does not care about anyone besides herself. She literally will blow up an entire Ace Chemicals just because she went through a breakup. Not only that, but she fell in love with the most psychotic murderer of all time, Joker. But our worry is that she made a couple of silly noises. Who cares? Hispanics don't care about this. A lot of the people I even see trying to criticize the scene are whites. A lot of them just don't care. They're just trying to virtue signal to their audience. But I also want to bring up another point. A lot of these people saying that this scene's racist, they're all big on pro Ayer cut. And look, I want the Ayer cut released. I do. I think Ayer rightfully deserves to get his film released because he was BS'd during the editing process of that film. But let's not deny one thing. Diablo is a stereotype of cholos. I'm sorry, this, and I don't think it's racist at all, but this is far more racist than the Harley scene. The Harley scene is her just kind of making fun of how Latin Americans sound. And I won't deny it. A lot of Latin Americans sound funny. If you go to Argentina, they sound funny. They sound like Italians who speak Spanish, you know, or Hondurans who just sound angry all the time. Bro, who cares? They're funny jokes. People like to make fun of British accents all the time, Australian accents all the time. Oh, but the minute you make fun of, brown and black people accents, now that's too far. But if it's other white people, that's cool. But who cares? Latin Americans don't care. Latin Americans, there's no one more racist to Hispanics than Hispanics themselves. And Latinos and all that. It's true. Like if a Mexican meets a Honduran, they're more than likely going to make fun of each other. Or if a Colombian meets a Brazilian, they're more than likely going to make fun of each other. That's just the reality. A lot of people don't know that about the culture, but that's usually how it goes. But if you want to call this racist, and it's not, because Harley's ignorant. That's the whole point of this scene, was to kind of mock that Americans are really stupid. That's the whole joke. The joke isn't on the Hispanic people. Sure, it's making fun of stereotypes, but the whole point of the joke was that Harley's just really stupid, and she thinks that all Latin Americans sound the same. But if you want to call this racist, then why aren't we bringing up Diablo? Diablo is literally a stereotype of cholos. Even the way he talks is just so stereotype. Even the fact that he's wearing a white tank top, that's another stereotype, bro. Like, I don't know how you consider this racist, but not this. It's the silly thing. But again, a lot of people don't actually care about racism. They just want to virtue signal to their audience because they're mad that James Gunn now has a position of power that they wish Deborah Snyder or Zack Snyder himself had gotten. And look, I'll say this right now. If there had been, I think there's more of a reason the Snyderverse gets restored under the management of James Gunn than there is with any other. Like, I don't think Jim Lee would have. I don't think anyone else, or not Jim Lee. Who was the guy who was about to? It was around July where there was this guy that was so close to becoming the head of Warner Bros. I don't remember the guy, but and he has even his own movie production. But a lot of people they're sensitive. They're crying man babies. It's like, I get it. If you don't like James Gunn on board, cool. But do not play the race card. Do not play the pedophile card, because everything you're doing is just a virtue signal. You don't care about actual children being harmed, and you don't care about actual racism that it does affect people in the world. You know? And I brought up this question a lot too. Like, Diablo is a stereotype. And I don't even care. Like, who cares? He was to me the best character of the movie, even though I didn't like that movie. And I think he would have been the best character even in the Ayer cut. But yeah, how is this scene racist? Which is just an American. It's an American who's roaming around acting stupid because everyone looks at her and thinks she's stupid. Let's not deny it. While with Diablo, it's literally a cholo. Even the shirts he wears, the tattoos he wears, even the way he sounds and talks, he's a stereotype. You cannot tell me this right here is not a stereotype. Like, bruh. Like, don't pretend to care, man. Don't pretend. You know, it's like, I get it. If you don't like James Gunn, cool. But, like, do not bring up the race card, because trust me, that is stupid. And the funny thing is, it was one of my former friends that was also tweeting this. You know, he was trying to make the argument that James Gunn's racist because of this deleted scene. All right, go ahead, play the race card, white boy. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all let us know in the comments, what do you think about this? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.